Cres is a beautiful Croatian island in the Adriatic that somehow managed to stay a hidden gem. Undisturbed by mass tourism, adorned by oak forests, medieval hilltop villages and beautiful quiet beaches, the island's slogan is
"No stress on Cres." Hi guys, my name is Rok and I'm a tour guide and I can't wait to show you the best things to do and best beaches on Cres Island.
Cres is one of the biggest islands in the Adriatic. Located in the Gulf of Kvarner, it is home to about 3,000 residents, most of them living in Cres Town. With its impressive history, town predates even the Romans, as it always offered a well-protected bay on a strategic location next to Istria Peninsula.
Cres Town developed around the old harbor with square that remains to be the heart of the town. Here you'll find inviting restaurants, cafes and ice cream places with beautiful seafront views.
Cres is part of the beautiful Croatian coast, but for more than 3 centuries it was part of Venetian Republic. You can still see the winged lion, symbol of Venice, on the town gates, as Venetians surrounded the entire old town by the defensive walls. With the fall of the Venetian Republic and the arrival of the Austrian government, the defensive ring of the city was gradually torn down.
Town gates and small fragments of the city walls managed to survive, but the most impressive remaining part is the defensive tower. There were 5 towers, and this is the only one that managed to survive.
The tower was located at the highest point of the city walls and is open to the public. You can climb to its roof and get a very nice view.
Venetian influence is also visible on churches, palaces, and buildings like this loggia. It served as a covered public space on a town square, offering protection against scorching sun while being open on 3 sides.
Loggia was used for trials, city council sessions and as a marketplace. It's nice to see that in the mornings it still serves its purpose, as here you can find locally grown fruits, vegetables, olive oil, jam and honey.
Town also has Venetian palaces, and the oldest one is dating back to the 1500s. It was constructed in the place of a former shipyard called Arsenale in Italian, hence its name Arsan Palace.
It houses a modest Cres City Museum that offers a glimpse into the history of the island and an opportunity to see the interior of the palace.
Town also has several churches and 2 monasteries. Most central is the main church of the island, dating back to the late 1400s with 72 feet or 22-meter high bell tower.
A Renaissance portal decorated with the Virgin and Child takes you to a glassed-in foyer that allows you to peer inside, as the church is only open during services. If you manage to get in, be sure to check a wooden pietà on one of its side altars, as it predates the church.
Like other monasteries, the Franciscan monastery in Cres was also built outside the town walls. It includes a church from the 1200s, 2 cloisters, dormitories, a refectory, and gardens with an olive grove. It has a small museum, and every summer, one of the 2 cloisters turns into an open-air stage for music performances.
Small Monastery Museum houses some religious artwork, sculptures, vestments, and other ceremonial objects. But despite its size, it houses a very important and rare book from the 1400s. It's written in the Old Slavic language used by the Church and printed in Slavic alphabet called Glagolitic script.
But the main reason for visiting Cres are its beautiful and almost never overcrowded beaches.
From Cres Town, you can follow a long and beautiful paved pedestrian path known as Lungomare that follows the coastline. The entire Lungomare also serves as a beach, as you can find beautiful places to swim, bars and restaurants with nice shade. If you're willing to take about a 20-minute stroll along the Lungomare, you will get to a beautiful Kovacine Beach. Like many other beaches on Cres, this one is covered with pebbles and is almost never overcrowded. Here is also a campground that offers bars, restaurants and other facilities, and in the evening, beach offers beautiful sunsets. But before I show you more beautiful places around Cres, let me show you how to get to the island. Obviously, yachts and organized boat tours are one option.
But you can also come here by car, and there are 2 options. First one is from the island of Krk, where you board the car ferry at the terminal at Valbiska. The car ferry takes about 25 minutes before it docks right here in Merak.
Another option is a car ferry from Istria. The ferry departs at the terminal in Brestova and takes about 20 minutes before it docks in Porozina. Tickets can be bought directly from the ferry terminals or online. I'll put the link to the official ferry website with the timetables and tickets in the description below. Now let's look at Ireland's oldest and most beautiful villages. One of them is on the northern part of the island, located on a small hill above the sea. It is called Beli and has about 40 residents, although it used to be much bigger. Its strategic position with a view of the waterways attracted the Romans who built the settlement. You can still see Roman traces, as the old Roman road and bridge are part of a hiking trail next to the village. Current name of the village derives from the Middle Ages, when Tartar hordes from Asia were plundering the Eastern Europe.
Tartars never came to this island, but people seeking refuge did. One of them was apparently a Hungarian king, Bela IV, who found shelter in this village and now carries his name.
Due to economic and political reasons following the Second World War, most people left the village. They moved to the nearby city of Rijeka, Italy, United States of America, or Australia. But the pristine nature stayed here, and now the village hosts an eco-center dedicated to the griffon vultures, as Cres is the only nesting place in Croatia.
Below the village is this nice natural pebble beach. On one end it ends with a small village harbor, while the other end ends with rocks.
Beach gets lively in summer when a small campground behind the beach fills with visitors. Here you can find changing facilities, a bar, toilets, a diving base, a shop, and even a zip line. There is also a tourist road train which operates between the beach and the village.
South of Cres Town is a small seaside fisherman village called Valun. It is nestled under the hill with tightly packed houses around a small harbor. The main reason to visit this village are its two lovely pebble beaches with crystal clear sea.
As there is little space, you'll need to park your car above the village and descend on foot. In the village are restaurants, bars and grocery shop where you can get supplies before heading to the two beaches. They can be reached by a path following the coast. North of the village is Raca Beach, lined with thick pine forest, while south is Beach Zdovica with a small campground. Not far from Valun, spectacularly perched on the top of the cliff, is a remote village of Lubenice. It is rising 1,250 feet or 380 meters above the sea and offers stunning views of Kvarner Gulf and the coast of Istria.
On this strategic point, Romans built a fort that later developed into a settlement. Most of the current village dates back to the Middle Ages, when this was one of the most important places on the island.
From that period, you can see the remains of a medieval fortress, parts of the town wall and town gates, along with chapels, houses, and a 15th century church dominating the main square. Interestingly, a self-standing bell tower stands on the other side of the square. Originally, the church had an adjacent bell tower, but it had to be deconstructed as it was attracting many lightning strikes.
Village has an interesting small museum of sheep breeding. Sheep herding is still common on Cres, and wool from local sheep used to be held in great esteem.
Sheep graze freely around the island and both clean and fertilize the land, making it perfect for olive groves. That is why Cres has a long tradition of olive growing. Extra virgin olive oil from Cres is considered to be one of the finest and carries the European label of Protected Designation of Origin. Right under Lubenice is the most beautiful beach on the island and one of the most beautiful secluded beaches on the entire Croatian coast. This pebbly beach can be reached by 45-minute steep descent from the village, but coming back up is more of a challenge. More comfortable option is to go on a boat trip from Valun or Cres. Obviously, there are no facilities of any sort at the beach, as its seclusion and beautiful pristine nature with Mediterranean sands are the very things that are making it so special.
It's hard to imagine, but this small village of Osor used to be the most important town on the island. In the times when intensive sailing took place along the coast, Osor offered protected harbor and a narrow strait separating the island of Cres and the island of Lošinj that made sailing around the Gulf of Kvarner much shorter and faster.
Before the Romans dug the canal, Cres and neighboring Lošinj were one large island. The canal created two separate islands and made Osor a strategic point for centuries until in the Middle Ages the town lost its importance. Administration was moved to Cres Town, but remnants of its golden days are Town Forum, the Municipal Palace, Bishop's Palace and the Cathedral, all dating to the 15th and 16th centuries. From mid-July to mid-August, the cathedral serves as the main music hall for the festival of classical music called Osor Musical Evenings. Around town are bronze sculptures dedicated to this music festival, as they are based on the theme of music made by important Croatian sculptors. In the former town hall and loggia is an archaeological museum showing artifacts from Osor spanning from prehistoric to medieval times. There are also a few restaurants and shops, apartment houses and two campgrounds, and one of them is located on the neighboring Croatian Island.
The two islands are connected by the swing bridge that opens twice a day for boats to pass. You can explore the neighboring Croatian Island in my upcoming video in the top right corner. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a super thanks to help me create my future travel videos and let me know where I should travel next. Thanks for your support and for watching, and see you next time.